Here's a fact that might unsettle you. Every clock you own, whether it's the one on your wall, the glowing numbers on your phone, or the watch strapped to your wrist, is telling you a carefully crafted lie. We trust these devices to keep us anchored in reality, to mark the passing of our days with precision. But what if I told you that their version of time is a grand illusion, a story we've all agreed to believe? These clocks insist that every minute is identical, that each hour is made up of 60 perfectly equal minutes, ticking away in a steady, predictable rhythm. But if you pause and reflect, you'll realize that's not how we actually experience the world. Our days are filled with moments that stretch and compress, that feel fleeting or endless depending on what we're doing and how we feel. Clock time is a tidy, artificial construct, an invention designed to bring order to the chaos of existence. It's a system we created to coordinate trains, meetings, and daily routines. But our lived reality is far messier, more unpredictable, and infinitely more fluid than any clock can capture. Life doesn't move in neat, measured increments. The relentless precision of the clock ignores the fact that time can crawl when you're bored, or race ahead when you're excited or lost in a state of flow. It doesn't care if you're waiting anxiously or creating joyfully. Your internal sense of time is elastic, stretching and shrinking, shaped by your emotions, your focus, and your engagement with the world around you. Think about those moments when you're lost in a great conversation, or swept up in laughter with friends. Hours can melt away in what feels like minutes. But in a dull meeting or while waiting for something you dread, every second seems to drag on forever, each tick of the clock echoing your impatience. The clock may insist that the same amount of time has passed in both situations, but your experience tells a very different story. Time, as you live it, is deeply personal and subjective. This isn't a flaw in your perception. It's the very nature of perception itself. Our minds are not built to experience time as a machine does. The real problem begins when we start believing that the clock's version of time is the only one that matters, and we ignore our own internal rhythms. We judge our days by how much we can cram into those uniform boxes, feeling anxious or guilty when we waste a few minutes, as if every second must be accounted for. In doing so, we hand over authority to a machine that knows nothing about being alive, about joy, sorrow, or meaning. The clock is indifferent to the richness of your experience. To reclaim a more meaningful life, we must first recognize this grand deception. We need to see the clock for what it is, a helpful tool, but not the ultimate judge of our days. Remember, the clock is a tool, not the territory. It can help us organize, but it should never dictate the value of our moments. Your lived experience, those moments of connection, creativity, and presence, is the real measure of time. Don't let the ticking hands fool you into forgetting what truly matters. Let's look at how time really feels, not just as numbers ticking by, but as something deeply personal and ever-changing. Time isn't just a measurement, it's an experience, and that experience can shift dramatically depending on what we're doing, how we're feeling, and even who we're with. On a long-awaited holiday, a single hour on the beach can feel expansive and full, as if the world has slowed down just for you. The sun lingers, the waves stretch out, and every moment seems to last a little longer. You notice the details, the warmth of the sand, the sound of the surf, the gentle breeze. Contrast that with a frantic Monday morning. An hour feels compressed, frantic, impossibly short. You're racing the clock, juggling tasks, and before you know it, 60 minutes have vanished in a blur of stress and urgency. The clock insists both hours are equal, but your nervous system knows better. Your body reacts, your mind races, and time itself seems to warp under pressure. Learning something new? Time slows as your brain processes every detail. Each minute stretches as you focus, absorb, and wrestle with unfamiliar ideas. It's as if your mind is making space for new connections, and the seconds expand to accommodate them. Mindlessly scrolling your phone? Half an hour vanishes in a blink. You barely register the passage of time, lost in a haze of endless content, until suddenly you look up and wonder where it all went. The clock can't account for the density of our experience. It doesn't measure how present or absent we are in each moment, or how much meaning we find in the time that passes. An hour laughing with friends is not the same as an hour in a waiting room. Joy, boredom, anticipation, and anxiety all stretch or shrink our sense of time, making each hour feel unique. Yet we schedule our lives in identical blocks, ignoring the true texture of time. Our calendars are filled with neat, equal segments, but our lived experience is anything but uniform. We try to fit life's richness into a featureless container, as if every hour could hold the same weight, the same meaning, the same energy. We instinctively know not all hours are created equal. Some are bursting with life, while others slip by unnoticed, barely leaving a trace. The challenge is to stop pretending otherwise, to recognize the true shape of our days, and to honor the moments that matter most. Time is elastic, shaped by what fills it, stretched by meaning, compressed by monotony or stress. The clock's uniformity is a useful fiction, not a lived reality. Our experience of time is as varied and complex as life itself. Why does our sense of time diverge from the clock? It's all in the brain. We don't have a single internal clock. Our sense of time is a story, built from attention, emotion, and novelty. When life is new and exciting, our brains record more memories, making time feel full and long. Think of childhood summers. In routine, the brain filters out details and time seems to fly by. As we age and life becomes predictable, years accelerate. Emotion matters too. Fear slows time, happiness makes it fly. In danger, your brain processes more, stretching each moment. When relaxed, you're absorbed in the present and time slips away. Our internal clock is emotional and adaptive, not mechanical. Time for us is always subjective. Our bodies run on ancient rhythms, circadian clocks that regulate sleep, hormones, and energy. These cycles are tuned to light and dark, not the numbers on a watch. Modern life disrupts these rhythms with artificial light, alarms, and irregular schedules. This mismatch, social jet lag, hurts our health, causing fatigue and increasing disease risk. We try to override our biology with caffeine and willpower, but it's a losing battle. Living in sync with our body clocks means listening to natural signals, sleep, light, and energy peaks. Our bodies aren't machines, they have their own wisdom. Honoring that wisdom is self-care in a clock-obsessed world. The clock has become a moral authority. Being on time is virtuous. Wasting time is a sin. We're pressured to optimize every minute, turning life into a race against the clock. Multitasking, rushing, and constant productivity leave us exhausted and disconnected. We lose patience for anything inefficient. Slow walkers, long lines, aimless conversations. The joy of simply being is devalued. This obsession is rooted in anxiety about our limited time. We try to conquer time by cramming in more, but it only breeds more stress. The real peace comes from surrendering to life's natural rhythms. The clock is a tool, not a master. Life's richness is found in presence, not in speed. The attempt to master time is a fool's errand. True living means letting go of the clock's tyranny. How do we break free from the clock's prison? Most of us live our days ruled by minutes and hours, always glancing at the time, feeling pressured to keep up with endless schedules. But what if we could step outside this invisible cage, even for a little while? Start by practicing being unproductive on purpose. Allow yourself to simply exist, without the need to fill every moment with tasks or achievements. Let your mind wander and notice how it feels to just be. Take a walk with no destination. Let your feet guide you, not your calendar. Notice the world around you, the colors, the sounds, the small details you usually miss when you're rushing. Listen to music without multitasking. Just observe the world. Let the melodies wash over you, and pay attention to the feelings and memories they evoke. Give yourself permission to do nothing else. These acts feel strange at first, but they're powerful. They remind you that your worth isn't measured by constant productivity. It's okay to pause, to breathe, to simply exist. Build time buffers into your day. Leave space between tasks, not for more work, but for breathing. These gaps are not wasted. They're essential for creativity and well-being. This margin lets you move calmly and handle life's surprises. When you're not rushing, you can respond thoughtfully instead of reacting out of stress. Focus on one thing at a time. Give your full attention to what's in front of you, and notice how much more satisfying and meaningful your work becomes. Multitasking is a myth. Single tasking brings depth and reduces stress. When you slow down, you actually accomplish more, and with greater clarity. Try a digital Sabbath. Put away your phone and ignore the clock for a few hours. Eat when hungry, sleep when tired, and let your body's natural signals guide you, not when the clock dictates. Rediscover your body's rhythms. Notice how your energy shifts throughout the day, and honor those cycles. These small rebellions recalibrate your sense of time. Each gentle act of resistance helps you reclaim a little more freedom from the tyranny of the clock. You're not a machine, you're a living being. Your time is precious, and it belongs to you. Life can be guided by internal cues, not just external demands. When you listen to yourself, you find a rhythm that feels natural and true. Reclaim your time moment by moment. Let each breath remind you that you are free to live beyond the prison of minutes. Living less by the clock means tuning into your own rhythms. Notice your daily energy cycles. Are you a morning lark or a night owl? The 9-to-5 schedule ignores these differences. Observe when you're most focused and creative, and align important tasks with those peaks. Use low-energy times for routine work or rest. Protect your downtime. True rest restores you. Seasons matter too. Summer invites activity. Winter calls for reflection. Redefine your relationship with boredom. Let your mind wander instead of reaching for distraction. Boredom can spark creativity and insight. Don't fill every empty moment. Let quiet spaces reveal your internal rhythm. In those moments, you hear yourself most clearly. Life's richness is found in honoring your own cycles. The clock can't tell you who you are. The pressure to use time perfectly is exhausting. Life is messy. Plans change, interruptions happen, motivation fades. Instead of chasing a perfect schedule, embrace good enough. Focus on what truly matters each day. Let the rest be a bonus. This mindset shifts you from overwhelm to calm focus. Be flexible and forgiving. Progress, not perfection, is what counts. If you planned an hour but managed 20 minutes, that's still progress. The good enough approach is sustainable and compassionate. You're not a machine. Your worth isn't measured by productivity. Let go of perfect time management and reclaim your energy. True freedom comes from making peace with time. The average life is about 4,000 weeks, a sobering, clarifying number. This isn't meant to panic you, but to focus you on what matters. The clock's ticking can make us frantic, but speed isn't the point. The real challenge is to be present for the time you have. Reclaiming your time is an act of rebellion against a culture obsessed with efficiency. Every slow walk, unhurried conversation, or mindful breath is a vote for a more humane life. This is an ongoing practice, not a one-time fix. You'll slip back into old habits, but the goal is gradual change. Trust your own rhythms over the machine's demands. Life's purpose isn't to finish quickly, but to inhabit each moment fully. The clock is a tool, not your master. Your life is happening now in this moment. The time to reclaim it is now.